Thank you all for coming for tonight's program on cryptocurrency scams. The Norwood Anti-Scam Task Force and Morel Memorial Library has partnered to bring this program to you. My name is Darshana Merchant and I am the Reference and Outreach Librarian here at the Morel Memorial Library. I am also part of the Norwood Anti-Scam Task Force. The members of the task force include the Norwood Police Department, Norwood Senior Center, one local bank, the library, friends of the Norwood Senior Center, and a few more. Some of the members are present here in the room right now, so if you can just raise your hands. I'm just still asking them to raise their hand because if you have any questions, feedback, concerns after the program, feel free to come to any one of us and we can talk or just say hello. If you would like more information on the task force itself, there are some brochures and handouts on the table to my left. There's also some feedback forms there that you can fill that after the program. Online, we have a web presence on the Town of Norwood's website under the Norwood Police Department web pages. Now it is my pleasure to introduce David Marion. David is the Director of Cybersecurity and Information Security at the Bridgewater State University. He has over 20 years of experience in information technology, focus of which has been cybersecurity since 2013. David's presentation will be followed by a short presentation by Detective Sinclair from Norwood Police Department, who is also a member of the task force. If you have any questions as David moves along in the presentation, feel free to raise your hand and he'll stop and answer your questions. And lastly, we would like to thank Norwood Community Media for recording this program and helping us spread the word. So please join me in welcoming David.
Thank you for the very warm reception. As I'm logging in here, please applaud the Anti-Scam Task Force for all the work that they've been doing. I haven't really seen very many municipalities going this far. I was reading some of the material before. Let me get this started here. I was reading some of the materials that got started here, and the Anti-Scam Task Force has done. Oh no. Display on. All right. Ooh, it's coming up now. All right. Yeah, like I was saying, I've been so incredibly impressed with all the work the Anti-Scam Task Force has done. A lot of the literature and research around awareness with scams and cybersecurity awareness, it's always better when it's a grassroots effort, and seeing folks kind of coming together to help raise awareness for this stuff is super, super important, and it actually increases the efficacy of that work itself. So a little bit about me. Just as the introduction, 20 years of IT experience. I'm the Director of Information Security at Bridgewater State University. I'm a Commonwealth resident. I'm a security awareness advocate, and my hobbies are kind of boring. I like reading, I like going to the movies, and I like playing golf. That's really about it. I also like cooking with my daughter. I like sharing this picture up here. My number one rule is don't panic. Has anyone read the book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? A few people, maybe. So in the book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, there's a book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that talks about how to hitchhike across the galaxy. It was the number one selling book for hitchhiking across the galaxy, but it wasn't the best book. It was the number one selling book because in big, bold, friendly letters right in the front of the book, it said, don't panic. So I like sharing that analogy with folks whenever I talk about security awareness or any type of awareness in general. And the reason why is because a lot of times these scams, these cyber criminals, they really try to get you to do something by creating a sense of urgency. And if you don't panic when you see these things, chances are you'll give yourself a moment to stop and think and even reach out for help. Which the number one tip on prevent being scammed is stop for a minute and take a deep breath. So I love seeing that stuff. And as I'm presenting, feel free to ask any questions. We can keep this informal. So a lot of times, cryptocurrency scams or crypto scams, they have a lot of the same stuff as regular scams that we see. Sometimes the offers are too good to be true. There's exclusivity, there's urgency, there's some complicated explanations. And scammers are typically after your money. Sometimes they'll be after data, but most of the time we see them just after your money. So we have the ChatGPT definition of a scam: a dishonest scheme designed to trick people into giving away money, personal information, or something else of value. It usually involves deception, false promises, or misrepresentation. So everyone knows who this is? Yeah? And what was Charles famous for? Yeah. A lot of this, it's a lot of the same things that we see in some of these crypto scams are just old scams rebranded as crypto, right? So does anyone know what cryptocurrency is? Or has anyone never heard of it?
Is it exclusively Bitcoin, or does it extend beyond it?
Yeah, so Bitcoin is one type of cryptocurrency, and there are tons of different types of crypto coins that you can buy and then hold and then sell for real money later. That's typically a lot of the times that we see with crypto. What I've noticed on social media, and we'll talk about this in a few minutes, is a lot of times we'll see social media influencers try to sell you on some of these coins, and you buy the coins and then you hold them for a little while and then you can sell them for money again. And we already did that with Beanie Babies back in the 90s. Did anyone have a large collection of Beanie Babies? Yeah?
That's the question. I'm very
Yeah.
naive, but part of the reason I'm here is because I don't fully understand cryptocurrency. I never dealt with Bitcoin or any of that. You know, now I'm seeing almost like ATM things in stores for cryptocurrency. It's just like you use a credit card or cash and you buy coins, so it spits out coins to you? Or is it all like on paper or someplace in a web? I'm sorry, very nice.
No. That's a really good question. So the coins aren't physical coins, they're virtual coins. And the transactions of those cryptocurrencies are recorded on a general ledger, which is a database that's shared by everyone making those transactions. So if you gave me $5 in cryptocurrency, that transaction would show up on the general ledger for that cryptocurrency.
So if you went to one of these machines,
Yep.
right, I think there's one in Charles or South, I saw somewhere. You put money or a credit card in, and what does it give you? Is it a piece, since it's virtual, does it spit out a piece of paper that says this is your stuff? Or does it even, I mean,
Sometimes they can send an email, sometimes they can send it directly to another Bitcoin wallet somewhere. Generally speaking,
Do you get a receipt, like if you go to a machine, you buy a Bitcoin, do they give you a receipt?
I don't know if you get a receipt from the machines. I've never purchased
Get
Bitcoin.
anything tangible?
I've never, no, you don't, unfortunately.
It just sounds very scary.
It is scary because it's nothing you can really touch, right? Yeah.
I mean, I do online banking, but this just, I don't know, this seems different. You know, there it's a private thing I'm logging into. I don't
Yeah.
have something in the middle of a store to go
Yeah.
buy.
And your bank is FDIC insured, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm here to know.
But does that cover crypto? FDIC?
I don't think the FDIC is going to be covering
No.
crypto.
I mean, they're insuring tangible
Yeah,
assets,
so you
not
get
invisible
nothing.
assets.
Yeah.
How is the Bitcoin currencies or all of these cryptocurrencies, how are they actually valued? Because with a country like, say, the US,
Mhm.
the US Treasury, even if we have a $38 trillion national debt,
Yep.
you have like a country behind the pricing of currency, but who is determining the price pricing of this?
Going to get to that.
Yeah, no. The short answer to that is people that want to buy it are helping to determine the currency. It's kind of like an ethereal supply and demand, right? So it's only worth something because people want to buy it.
It just seems like it's make-believe, and at some point it's going to go poof.
That's kind of what it feels like, right? Yeah, I think cryptocurrency is a little weird because it's almost like the type of thing where you, from an investment perspective, you buy a lot of it and then you hold on to it, then you sell it for real money later and try to make some money off of it.
How do you sell it?
You sell it on one of the exchanges for real
It's
money.
a whole new world.
So if you like go to the machine and you say you want to sell your stuff in the store, does it then spit out
It's all
money to
online.
you?
It's all online.
It's all
Like you
online.
want to
Yep.
So then
cash
how
it
do you
in.
get your money? They want my bank account.
Yeah, they would wire
Explain to-
it. They'd end up, those exchanges could wire the money back into your bank account.
Okay.
It is really
Do you
strange.
have legitimate crypto exchanges that you can find? Or does the bank
Yes.
run crypto?
There are legitimate crypto exchanges, but typically, if anyone's asking you for crypto or to pay in crypto, that is a huge red flag for me, right? So
Yeah, because if you don't have any crypto, how can you pay for the crypto?
exactly, yeah. So from a cryptocurrency scam perspective, pretty much everything that the work of the task force has done, if any of those requests if any of those requests come in and they're asking for cryptocurrency, they're asking for Bitcoin or any of one of the number of cryptocurrencies out there, that would be a red flag for me.
So what do you do?
So it depends on how the ask is coming in. Sometimes you'll be browsing to a website and it says your computer is all locked up. Please, we need 5 Bitcoins to unlock it or whatever it is. That is used by ransomware actors, but it's also another thing that we call scareware. So like you can think of it as you're browsing the websites and then the big scary ransom note pops up. What we do in part of our operating procedure is we instruct the person calling with that to turn their computer off and then turn it back on again. Because 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, 999 times out of 1,000, it's just a website displaying those messages. And it'll go away after a reboot.
So even if it tells you not to shut your computer off, just because
Yep.
I didn't have a crypto, but I had it happen with Microsoft one day where I was on my computer, I turned and it just said, don't shut
Yeah.
this off or you're gonna lose everything.
Yep.
So I didn't shut it off, but I obviously was smart enough not to call the number they told me to call. I called Microsoft and they took care of it. But you're
Perfect.
saying even if you get something, it's okay to shut it down and just remove it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's most of the time. The other one that we see a lot in that space are those tech support scams, where it says, please call this number, there's a problem with your computer. Then you call their tech support and they put remote access software on your computer. Now they're controlling your computer. We've seen 2 bad things happen. I've seen 2 bad things happen with that. The first bad thing is that computer, if it's part of a large network of computers, will be used as a foothold onto that network. That's more for like an enterprise corporate bad thing happening. On the personal space, I've seen actors do that and then drain someone's Amazon account by buying a bunch of gift cards.
So even like, okay, through my Microsoft account,
Yeah.
if I log into my Microsoft account, I have had them like link in
Yep.
to do it. But that's okay, right? If I'm going through the account, you're saying the
Yes.
issue is if you call that number that pops up.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Always, always, always call the real numbers and just verify that. And that kind of goes back to the anti-scam task force's recommendation of stop for a minute and take a deep breath. It is the best advice I've ever heard. And it's advice that I give every single day to many, many people that I've talked to and work with. But yeah, if there's a request for you to pay something in cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or Doge or whatever that is a huge red flag for me that it's more likely a scam than not a scam. So why cryptocurrency? This is the value of Bitcoin year after year. This is a huge increase, right?
So one
This is where I
coin-
sold my Bitcoins.
So one coin costs like $100,000.
Now, yes. But back in 2013, it was like $5. So a lot of times what people see is they see these types of returns and they think they can get those returns too. And what ends up happening is the scams unique to cryptocurrency start to pop up a little bit. So there's 7 reasons crypto scams absolutely thrive. There's a lot of FOMO. Has anyone heard the term FOMO? Fear of missing out. There's a little bit of a greed component to it. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, can reach everywhere in the world, and anyone in the world can send you an email about cryptocurrency. So the exposure, when we talk like traditional risk management type stuff, we always talk about threats, vulnerabilities, and exposures. So the exposure of crypto in the World Wide Web is absolutely massive compared to other scams that might just happen in our backyard. So these are the common cryptocurrency scams that we see, and I'm going to focus on a few that I think are super, super unique. Those are the impersonation scams, investment scams, the pump and dump, pig butchering, and ICO fraud. So the impersonation and fake celebrity endorsement scams, this has gotten worse over the years. And the reason why is because of the proliferation of deepfakes with artificial intelligence. What a deepfake is a computer taking someone's image and likeness and generating things that they say and do to trick people into thinking something. So in this case, Elon Musk was saying, we have a new cryptocurrency, invest in us. And people would invest money into that particular scam.
So Elon Musk was contacting just normal, everyday people.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be a red flag? Like if Elon Musk sent me an email, like that would pretty much tell me it's fake?
Mm-hmm. Correct. You'd think so. A lot of times when people are scrolling through social media, if you're following someone, other people, the algorithm will start making suggestions, and some of the content might bubble up to the top. So you might be scrolling social media and then automatically see a video of Elon Musk that was generated by an AI, that deepfake, and with instructions to go to a specific website, type in your information, and now you just got scammed out of some money. It's absolutely horrible. Yeah,
Can I ask you like a slightly unrelated question?
of course.
I was on my PC at home, and my landline telephone was right next to me. I was talking with a friend about someone who knows epilepsy, and within a few hours, I noticed the computer was turned on, but on the sort of like the main menu, or up on maybe Microsoft or whatever company. All of a sudden, I'm seeing announcements for epilepsy medication, and I'm wondering, is there an ability to remotely listen into what is being communicated? Because I haven't turned anything on. I find this very alarming. It's right out of 1984.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably have to.
It's a Dell computer. It's
Yeah, no, I mean,
2 years old.
the capabilities are there, but all the literature I've read says they don't do that. They use algorithms, so you might have searched for that in the past, and that's just kind of what happened.
It's just very upsetting.
It is. It is. I worked a case one time where someone, this is a little bit of an aside, clicked on a phishing link from Joe so-and-so, because they had an interview with Joe so-and-so earlier in the day. And it just so happened that they got an email from Joe saying, thanks for the great conversation today. Please click this link for a little bit more. And they clicked on the link by accident. It was just a completely random event that happened. The other neat thing is, since I work at a university, we get to work with students. And nothing is more humbling than working with students. They're the best. I was working with one student one time, and this is kind of like a side story about that algorithm. The student was talking with a significant other through one of those social media channels. And then all of a sudden the communication stopped because they split. And the algorithm started feeding them some of like the sad information about breakups. And they said, Dave, why am I getting all this? How do they know that we split? And I said, well, probably because you were talking for a long time at very specific hours of the day and night, and then that communication stopped. So if it could be explained with an algorithm, that's probably where I would lean on, to be honest with you, because I've seen some strange stuff in that area.
So you're saying the computer could listen to your conversation? No.
I'm saying the capability is there,
Yeah.
but all of the tech companies have said we don't do that.
It's funny because I was using my phone for GPS and I was talking to someone, and I wasn't interested in going through the tunnel. I said I want to avoid it.
Yeah.
And the next thing, my GPS kept directing me over to 93 and everything. I'm like, why? On 95, why is it taking me over there? It was taking me to the tunnel.
Huh.
And I never put that in my GPS. It was just part of our conversation. And that was the cell phone. So I wonder.
Yeah, it could have routed you that way because of traffic.
No, it was not that. 95 was clear straight ahead. I didn't go that way. I just ignored it to go 95.
Oh.
But it was when I looked at the map, it was taking me to the tunnel.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, like it could hear us talking about it.
Yeah, like I said, I know the big tech companies have come out and said that they're not like recording everything that we say,
Yeah.
and that when those coincidences happen, they are just coincidences. But I also know that the algorithms are very good that they use. They profile you into your geolocation, your age, and all the different demographics.
I don't know, this is Google.
And Google has all the data, don't they?
I don't know, I thought it was Google listening.
So one really common crypto scam is the pump and dump, where they'll pump up one of those cryptocurrencies, get a bunch of investors, and then they'll just dump it, and they kind of leave you high and dry. Now,
What do you mean when you say dump it? Like,
they'll just take your money.
but if you don't have crypto, how can they take your crypto?
This is to get people to invest in their cryptocurrency.
So they basically are saying, we're selling crypto?
Yep. Or look at how much money we've made investing in this cryptocurrency. You should invest here too.
Okay, so they're trying to get you to invest in crypto.
Yep. And a lot of times those are social media influencers. And what we've noticed, unfortunately, is that some of these social media influencers, they will rent a mansion for a couple of days. They'll rent a couple of supercars for a couple of days. And they'll record content hour after hour after hour after hour. And they'll change their clothes, but the haircut and like the beard and the facial hair, that always stays the same for some reason. And they'll release that content over the course of months. So they'll rent a few cars, they'll rent a mansion for a weekend, and they'll record content for the next 6 months to try to pump up the value of their cryptocurrency to get you to spend more for it.
Is stablecoin crypto?
Stablecoin?
No, Trump is selling stablecoin. Is that crypto?
I haven't really looked into stablecoin, to be honest.
I thought it was crypto.
It sounds like it'd be crypto, but I don't know if there's going to be different regulations around it compared to other cryptocurrencies.
Like Bitcoin.
Correct. I honestly don't have an answer for that one. Yeah.
Question, Dave. You've be explaining in some of your slides what a ledger is, some of the terminologies associated with crypto, because some of them are
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like the blockchain.
the blockchain, I don't know what the ledger is and all.
All right, yeah, so just really simple. I think of the blockchain and the ledger as a list of all the transactions of that cryptocurrency that's available to everyone to see. And when everyone can see something, there's a lot of transparency there. So if I change something, I'm only one person changing it. And everyone can say, hey, Dave, you really didn't just make $100,000. You just edited that in yourself. So having that general ledger, having all that public information transparent for everyone to see, it does mean that those transactions are they're accounted for holistically, but it doesn't mean that there's not scams going on in the process.
So people basically create accounts that give you access to these ledgers.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, the ledgers are all publicly available.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what is the ledger?
It's, yeah, it's a ledger.
It's like a website, it's like a database, that has all the information, but you need to have an account to
So
access it.
usually that's where there's
Yep.
like numbers.
Exactly.
You can think of it as a list of all the transactions ever made with that particular cryptocurrency.
So how
So
do you know which one, is it
Yeah.
person specific or it's just the system?
it's tied to a long string of numbers and letters. So it's one long string of numbers and letters sends 0.01 bitcoins to another long string of numbers and letters.
So if you own Bitcoin, do you have a string of numbers and letters that you look at?
Yes.
And if you lose that number, you're out of luck.
If you lose your password to it, you're out of luck, unfortunately. But that's where a lot of these crypto exchanges can help. There are Bitcoin wallets you can buy. Honestly, my advice with cryptocurrency is to kind of stay out of it unless you really want to learn a lot about something.
But everything's virtual. The
It's all virtual.
blockchain, The wallet, the money,
Yep.
everything's virtual.
Yeah, there were scams where people were selling physical bitcoins. They were calling them physical bitcoins, but they weren't. They weren't actual bitcoins. It was just a little coin someone minted somewhere.
That said Bitcoin.
It said Bitcoin on it, and they were selling them off to people. And
Vegas.
folks were buying them because it was a good deal at the time. Completely not knowing that it wasn't something you could, not knowing it wasn't something tangible.
So is this mainly wealthy celebrity type people that kind of invest in this? It sounds, normal everyday people don't have $100,000 to buy one crypto, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it.
Yeah, from my experience, I would say the majority of my experience with crypto and my exposure to it over the years has been mostly scam type stuff. I really haven't seen a lot of very legitimate use of crypto, but on the other hand, I live in the US. The currency is fairly stable here. Certain geolocations, like geopolitical locations, the currency might not be as stable. So in some regions of the world, it's a good way of kind of hedging against inflation. These are probably the most insidious scams, are the pig butchering scams. I'm seeing a couple of head nods. These are insidious and absolutely evil because they will take a little bit of your money and then they'll give you a return. And they'll take a little bit more and they'll give you more money back. And they'll keep this up for the long con. Eventually, once you go all in, they disappear. These are just absolutely
But that doesn't have to be
insidious.
crypto, that could be.
This could be anything. Yep.
Yeah.
This could be anything, but we've seen this heavily with crypto. One of my good friends fell victim to a pig butchering scam. Someone who is a lot smarter than me, someone who's been doing this a lot longer than I have, and they had company letterhead, they had a website, they had someone he could call to ask questions. Everything on the surface was completely legitimate. They had Google reviews. And pretty much what happened was they went in for $500 and they went in for $1,000, then $10,000. Then once they went in with 6 figures into the investment, the company disappeared. They had a fake website with people asking questions and getting answers on it, and everything disappeared once they got their money. It was a long con, and they took a little bit of risk because they did have to pay out initially. But after a few months of this, they were able to walk away with 6 figures.
So is this just saying you should stick with financial advisors who actually know the business?
I have a financial planner from TIAA CREF.
I mean, I
This is not an endorsement of TIAA CREF.
it's just something I would never just go off and invest in some random site thing,
Yeah.
no matter how. I mean, we would hope that financial advisors have help.
Yes.
Things are.
Yeah, financial advisor or fiduciary, I think they're bound by law to have your best interests at heart when they make their investments.
Is there any regulatory oversight? Because if I bought at $5 and I sold it at $100,000, that's a very large profit to
Mhm.
the IRS. Is there any mandatory reporting to the IRS by these so-called legitimate cryptocurrency?
Through the
firms?
exchanges, yes. The exchanges will report. I know one of them does request your information when you need to convert that crypto back into real money, like US dollars. And that ends up getting reported after a certain, I forget what the threshold is, but there's a threshold. Good question, though. So initial coin offerings, fundraising methods. So we've heard of IPOs, right? These are fraudulent ICOs. Just like the pig butchering scams, they will create fake websites, fake marketing teams, all designed to try to hype up this new crypto coin to attempt to get you to invest in it.
They can do that with AI now.
Do that with the what?
They can just create people and everything with AI.
Yeah.
They don't even have to rent houses.
Oh, it's so true. So they can, in any combination of these two, they can use AI to create those fake celebrity endorsements. They can rent out those mansions and those supercars and post on social media over the course of X number of months. They can start changing up their clothes from week to week, from month to month. Even though they're changing their clothes on the exact same day they're doing it, the post can look like they're gaining more and more money month after month. And as we're kind of scrolling through that feed, we can see their wealth increasing. So these are all very crypto-oriented scams. But any of the other scams the task force has talked about, if they're asking for crypto, it's still all the exact same red flags. So I just put down some really quick security awareness recommendations that the scam force is already, the anti-scam force task force is already doing. Focus on simple messaging, getting in front of people where they spend the most time. There's social media outreach that the anti-scam task force has done. They have an email address that anyone can email to get some help with those scams. Like, they have done such tremendous work with this. I have not seen another municipality do so much for their citizens. It is just the best thing ever. The final one there is highlighting resilience and empowerment so people feel capable of protecting themselves. The resources that the Anti-Scam Task Force has put out are absolutely phenomenal. Please avail yourselves of them, and please tell your friends and family to avail themselves of them as well. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and chat. Oh yeah, yeah, and then the DaveMarion.com website is just a big list of links that I always share with folks. But on the very top of that is a link of staying safe from scams. And
So do you recommend not clicking on links if you get links in emails?
I recommend doing the hover to discover.
What?
I recommend doing the hover to discover. It's when you hold your mouse over the link
Yeah.
to see where it's really going.
But you don't click it. Yeah.
Yep. And if you get an email from your credit card company, I say go to the actual website instead of clicking on the link to the credit card company in the email.
Yeah.
So you said you were recording this, is this available to us? Or
Right,
like,
so
do we
the-
have to take a picture of that information?
The Norwood Community Media is recording the session, so they'll be broadcasting that and putting that on the website as well, their website.
We might just want to cut the contact information, my cell phone number's up there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay for us in this room, just probably not on the internet with my cell phone number, please. Yeah.
Is it possible, I don't know, you can feel free to say no, is it possible to like to show us what one of the exchanges looks like?
Yeah.
I'm not asking to log in or anything, but just to see what it is.
Let's see here.
It's hard to imagine unless you have to see it.
So this is, oh. It was working, hold on. All right, this is one popular one called Coinbase.
This is legitimate?
This is legitimate, yep.
You basically sign up for an account.
Yes, you can sign up for an account, you can link your checking account, you can start buying crypto today on
So
Coinbase.com.
this is the way you get a crypto account?
Yep. This is one of the ways.
Crypto also.
What's that?
Robinhood sells
Robinhood, yep.
U-Haul stock.
What is it?
Is it U-Haul okay?
U-Haul? I'm not too familiar with U-Haul. I know Robinhood and Coinbase.
Are there any major global banks that are?
Do banks work with like Coinbase and stuff like that? I mean, is there any connection with banking?
No, they don't. Coinbase is its own banks are regulated by either the FDIC, the Federal Reserve, or the OCC. Coinbase is not a regulated,
So not regulated?
not the way a bank is regulated. No.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's no affiliation with banks?
Correct.
Nope.
Uphold.
Uphold. I've heard of Uphold.
So wait, you would have it.
I'm sure it'd be okay. I wouldn't worry about for a lot of these online exchanges. The big thing is to watch out for phishing emails because they'll send phishing emails to try to get into your Coinbase, Robinhood, Uphold account.
Yeah, I just did it as a,
Yeah.
my kids were doing it. But I wanted to,
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
but they're saying about the mic, last mic is true, I noticed it right after COVID.
Oh, really?
I mentioned, like doing it.
Yep. Yeah.
Back in the work. First day I got this.
Oh, no kidding.
They haven't.
Yeah. I don't know. They say they don't.
Well, we don't.
They say they don't.
We don't believe it, it's not like
Right?
They look at the crowd, you see, we're here for a reason.
Yep.
We don't trust any, we don't trust anybody.
Not banks, like, when you want to put that kind of money. I thought that's what they did.
That's only front of them.
Oh no. All right, that's about it.
If anybody else has questions for them, otherwise I'm going to hand it over to Detective Sinclair?
Oh, yeah, here. Part one.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, hello, I'm Detective Sinclair with the Norwood Police Department. So I'm just going to go over some cases that we've had in the past year and a half involving cryptocurrency, and also go over what we can do for you. But before I start, there was a lot of questions about cryptocurrency, and I don't want to get into, we could have a 10-hour discussion on what it is and how it works, but does anyone have any questions just about the basics of it? I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it's not much different than any other money. You know, when you put money into cryptocurrency, it's much like putting money into a stock, and that price is going to go up and down, and if everyone sells it, that price is going to go down. If everyone's buying it, it's going to go up. It's not much different. The only thing is the value of it is simply based on people who are buying it and selling it. So when we look at the stocks for Microsoft, we base it off their performance, how well they're doing, what kind of technology they're producing, and that's going to affect the price. Whereas with cryptocurrency, as of right now, it's more or less just based off of the opinion of the general public and the people who are buying it. Down the road, cryptocurrency, I think, will have use in real world life, basically. But as of right now, it's just general opinion. And if anyone's asking you for you to buy some or sell some or invest in it, if you aren't entirely sure what it is, at that point, with any other scam, you're just going to hang up your phone, shut off your computer, because you're going to get yourself caught up in a scam. So before I start, anyone have any, what cryptocurrency is, anything? I know someone mentioned stable coins. Stable coins is simply cryptocurrency tied to the dollar. So one stable coin is worth $1. And people might take a coin that's the price goes up and down every day and move it to a stable coin so that keeps its value pegged to what we know as $1. And you might do that because you feel like you're going to lose a lot of money soon. Or alternatively, you could just pull it out as cash and get it at the value that it's at. Yes?
So, you said stablecoin is one type of crypto. What are some of the types of crypto that you could potentially see pop up on your computer or get an email about? I just know the general cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah. So there's thousands of cryptocurrencies. Some are worth $0.00001, right? So you could put in $1 and own 50,000 of them. That doesn't mean that price is ever going to shoot up, you know, like Bitcoin did. Bitcoin was worth, like Dave said, about $5 in 2013. If you own one Bitcoin in 2013, now you have $115,000 today. It's very unlikely that, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, that's ever going to happen to you. And that's why we don't recommend it. If you don't know what it is, stay away from it. Like I said, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I'm sure if, you know, as you've seen in the news, someone mentioned Trump, it's clearly being adopted, and I think banks will eventually get into selling it, insuring it, but that's very far from now. And the chances of you paying your, for example, gas bill with cryptocurrency in the next 30 years is very unlikely. So again, if someone reaches out to you and tells you that you need to go bring money to a cryptocurrency ATM, you're not paying for anything legitimate, you're just giving a scammer some money. So for some examples, I just brought 7. Again, these are the past year and a half that have been brought to the Norwood Police Department that we've looked into. So the first one, we had a victim on a dating website where he met a woman, and the conversation was moved to WhatsApp, which is just a messaging platform, much like a text. She shared that she was making a lot of money with cryptocurrency, and she told him that he should start depositing into it. So he ended up depositing $850,000 at first. And as they kept this relationship going, he made subsequent deposits ultimately it would total $1.9 million. And then he tried to take that money out because he obviously felt that he had made a lot of money and it was time to get out, to find out that none of the money he put in was real. It never existed. He never made money. He simply was just giving all those deposits to the scammer. So he brought that to us. With that amount, we contacted the FBI office in Boston, and they immediately took over. I haven't followed up with what happened, but at that amount, we're always going to contact the FBI, who has more resources than we do. The next one, victim received a phone call from what was showing on the phone is Bank of America. And the caller had said that there were fraudulent transactions on this victim's account, and they were instructed to withdraw money and deposit it into a cryptocurrency ATM, basically under the guise of that by doing this, it would correct the malfunction in the account, it would correct what went wrong. Obviously, that wasn't the case. The victim ended up putting in $21,000 into a crypto ATM. So we were able to track that through these companies, like he just showed, Coinbase, all these companies. Some of them do work with us, and they do provide us with information. We tracked that money to the Dominican Republic. We were able to freeze that money, and we were able to charge the person who was responsible for stealing it. Victim received an email that she owed $455 to Microsoft Defender. I know you mentioned Microsoft, so be wary if you do receive one from them. But she clicked the email, put in her personal information. She thought she was putting in information that was going to Microsoft. That wasn't the case, and they were able to basically, acting as Microsoft, saying they were trying to fix her computer, convince her to withdraw money from her bank, put it into a cryptocurrency ATM to correct an overpayment that they had made to her. That was traced to Bangladesh, that was frozen, and that was seized, and a person in Bangladesh was charged with that one. Fourth one, victim was paying bills on her computer when a window opened that displayed that there was an error and contacted Microsoft again. Same scheme, money was deposited to a cryptocurrency ATM. This one, and I think it's our only one so far, the money moved so quickly and so many times that we just couldn't track down where it went. We even forwarded that to a higher power than us, and they were unable to do the same thing. So that just goes to show you why this works for scammers. So they're able to move that money in a way that we just can't follow.
But did the victim lose all the money?
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Unless the bank reimburses them. You know, anytime you get scammed, you obviously want to call your bank. There's certain situations where you might be able to get reimbursed total amount, some of it, or maybe none of it. But definitely one of the first people to call after us.
But not with cryptocurrencies.
Not with cryptocurrency. I would still call your bank so they're aware, because your bank might not be linked to a cryptocurrency account. But yeah, cryptocurrency isn't insured, and if you were duped into buying it, once you took that money out of your bank account and turned it into cryptocurrency, that's what it is. So.
Because you mentioned one with the Bank of America account, scam, but chances are Bank of America will reimburse that person who invested.
Correct, yep. And the person who called wasn't actually Bank of America. So another one, this victim was working for a company, and she posted a posting on LinkedIn to fill a position at her job. One of the candidates reached out to her, interested in applying, but also talked about cryptocurrency a little bit. Unfortunately for the victim, she did own some, so she kind of knew what it was, and he talked about expanding our portfolio. And from there, the suspect convinced her to get into what she thought was a legitimate website, like we just saw Coinbase, but it wasn't. It was a different one, where she put in $94,000. And when she tried to pull it out, obviously that wasn't real. That was traced back to China. Coincidentally, the FBI called her while we were looking into it, because they were working, one of their own cases, let's say like the $2 million one we sent them, and they happened to track the money back to her, seeing that she had put money in. So as part of their own case, they found her as another victim. And so you could see, just like any real money scam, these sometimes connect. In the final example I have, the victim was contacted by a recruiter to work for Best Western, and he was told that he would be booking hotel rooms and giving them good reviews to drive the price of the room up. And he'd use his own money to do that, and then they would pay him for that service and reimburse him what he paid. He did that with PayPal for a little while, and they finally moved him to cryptocurrency. It sounds like, from what I read, I didn't look into this one, but it sounds like he was aware of what cryptocurrency was, so to him, that was fine. He knew how it worked. Unfortunately, that whole job wasn't real, And Best Western is not buying their own rooms to drive up the price, at least as far as I know.
So you said part of it you started doing it with PayPal.
Yeah, so at first it was just real money, doing it with PayPal, and they were paying him back.
Oh, so they were paying him back?
Yep, and that's why he fell into it, because he felt it was legitimate. He was getting money, and that's part of like what Dave said with pig butchering. They're in it for the long haul, so they know that if they give you a couple pennies here and there and make it feel like it's real, you'll stick with it. And when that big payday comes and they say, buy the top suite in the Best Western in Hawaii for however much, then they take that money at that point. So there's two big points with these examples. One being, some of these people knew what cryptocurrency was, they owned it, they had an understanding of it, and they still fell for the scam. It sounds like most people here don't have any, nor know what it is, but just like regular money, if you own it, you can still be scammed. It's just because it's foreign to you, it's still scamming people who know what it is. And two, the methods that it's happening are no different than what we've seen before. All of these could have happened with just, hey, take $8,000 out of your bank account and mail it to this address, or deposit or wire it to this account. So it's really no different, and it's important to be aware of the red flags of a scam. As we put in the brochures, take a minute. If you think you're being scammed, stop. Contact the Anti-Scam Task Force. We have our email. Call the police. We'll happily come out and try and help you out. And even if we can't on the spot, there's no reason to just go through with a payment that you aren't sure is true. I'd assume most people's payments, you've been making them every month for years, or they're automated. So when a new one pops up, it's something to be, to look into before you just send the money.
It's like
Yeah.
the Easy Pass, I got an email, I think, or a text or something saying your Easy Pass account is low and you owe us $10, small amount. So then it's like linked to this, fill in your information, you could use a credit card to pay the $10. So that you would be putting all your credit card information. And I wondered about it, and then I contacted Easy Pass, and they said, no, that's a scam.
Yeah, that one's.
That's how they do it. So now you put in all your information, and it goes to some scammer who can hack you.
Exactly. So not only they made $10 off you.
It's just like a little thing, $10 overdrawn or something on your Easy Pass account.
And that one, as far as I know, with that one, they weren't using people's information or their credit cards after. They just wanted you to keep paying that $10 because it's something that you might send and not think about. If you send someone 10 grand.
People would, it's only $10.
Right.
But, I thought to myself, I don't want to put all my credit card information on an email. So I contacted Easy Pass and they said, oh no, that's a scam.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect example of saying, wait a minute, thinking about your drive, thinking, where did I spend $10 on Easy Pass?
Yeah.
I've gotten like 20 of those emails. I don't even have Easy Pass.
It
So.
was just the way that they wanted the payment.
Yeah. Yes.
Would drug traffickers, like the people involved in the fentanyl crossing the U.S. border, would they use this system for
Cryptocurrency?
as a way to collect their profits?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, when you're talking about an organized group that's, transnational, let's say they're based out of Mexico or South America, they have, key partners up here. So they might sell their drugs in the street up here in Massachusetts or wherever it may be, California. And then the job of that street dealer is basically, he takes that $5,000, he puts it into the Bitcoin ATM, but he's not doing this in a scam, he's doing this because the wallet he's sending it to is his boss in another country. And with cryptocurrency, like we said, it's a lot more anonymous. It's harder for us to track. So, quite frankly, we'll start to see that used a lot more in drug trafficking in any criminal organization, because they can get $5,000 in Mexico in a flash, from a convenience store on Main Street. So, yes.
Some of the cases that you have, are they Norwood?
All of these are Norwood residents. Yep.
They are.
Do you ever see cases involving real estate purchases with that cryptocurrency?
Not that I have yet. No. We've seen attempts at fraudulent sales of property. None that I've seen go through, but you never know. I mean, one day that will pop up, and I'll be kicking myself because I'll say, someone said that to me last year, and I didn't think about it. But it will happen, The thing with cryptocurrency is, it seems so foreign and it doesn't make any sense. But in reality, if you like it says, don't panic, take a step back. It's no different than anything else you buy.
It's just that the numbers are so high, like real estate is, you know, priced high. If
Definitely.
you have like a crypto that's worth $100,000,
Yeah.
you know, you can buy a house for like 6 crypto coins or something.
Yeah, and that's why these scams are so effective, because to show someone these fake returns and say, you gave me $20, now it's worth 180. Why stop? I mean, that's great. It's a break I've never got. But again, in reality, it's not how it's working. And, you know, very few people have made that much money through any cryptocurrency. Again, like we said, if you owned Bitcoin in 2013 and you held on to it till today, you were very lucky, but you're one of few. And again, and these people understand what it is. They've had it for over 10 years, so they understand the environment they're working in. They understand where it's safe to send it, where it's safe to receive it. So, you know, if you ever get it, it's something that you want to do your research on long before you do, because no one's there to protect you if you get looped into one of these scams.
And the buying and selling should go through a Coinbase thing, like if you wanted to cash in your crypto, go to Coinbase to convert it back to cash.
Exactly. Yep. And you'll just attach your bank to that, much like if you were investing in stocks, and you put $100 in, the price goes up a couple dollars, and you take it out. You know, there are many legitimate transactions in cryptocurrency, but again, the value is simply based off of what everyone thinks it should be valued at, and that could go from 115,000 today, and we could wake up tomorrow and it's at 40,000. So, nevertheless, we've had some people who have been hesitant for some reason when it came to cryptocurrency, more so than most common scams. So with cryptocurrency and with any other scam, I implore you, call us right away. As you've seen here, we can track it down. It doesn't mean you're going to get your money back, but you know, when we track one down and all of a sudden the FBI is calling it, we can work with them to try and figure it out. And in the end, we had one case, like I said, where we did freeze it. We did seize the money. It's actually sitting in a police department crypto wallet at this very moment.
Wow.
Which, funny enough, we've received scam texts saying that someone tried to access your Coinbase account. Yeah. So, and of course, luckily we knew what we were looking at, but that just goes to show. I mean, we never got those until we opened that department account to hold those frozen assets. So obviously, our information was found somewhere. So. Any other questions? Awesome. All right. Yeah. Like I said, if someone asks for cryptocurrency, call us. It's probably a scam.
You get the wallet.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.